Holy Hedera. You can see here on your screen, Hedera and the HBAR token is the #1 trending token on the 1 hour, up over 12.5%, as big news dropped today that Canary Capital officially files for the first ever HBAR spot ETF. Now, my initial reaction was, well, that could potentially be a bad thing. Thinking about how Ethereum went, all the money that flowed out of there, the price of ETH. But then I started thinking this might actually be very, very bullish, and I'll explain to you exactly why in this video. So like the video and let's get started. Hedera, again, up 12.5% on the 1 hour, 43% on the week, crushing that 6.5 cent barrier. You can see here as the hollowed out candle shows us, large amount of liquidations on the daily to the upside. So shorts got absolutely destroyed. Now we are seeing a little bit of resistance as price wicked all the way up to 7.67 cents, call it 7.7 cents, and it's come back down and is actually trending back upwards. But the 6.5 cent level is very, very important. We'll see what price does on this daily candle. The goal here would be to close above, potentially build some support on top of, maybe even consolidate sideways for a few days, and then off to go to the next level, which is going to be right at that 8 cent level. Same thing, reclaim, build support on top, and then off we go in the heat of the bull market. Now, this all started with this. This was only a month and a half ago. October 1st, Canary Capital makes its debut, launches the US's first HBAR trust. Now, we know the Bitcoin ETF, wildly successful, saw another 1 billion plus day inflow yesterday. But the Ethereum one, as you can see here, has left us something to want, right? And so this hasn't been what a lot of people expected. You can see here the total has been outflows of $3.1 billion, as you can see here. $3.1 billion has flowed out. We've seen some decent inflows. 361 million flowed in, 1.5 billion flowed in, 343 million flowed in. But at the end of the day, we are still net negative, which I believe has had an impact on the price of the Ethereum token. But what makes Hedera unique is, well, they got inroads with a lot of the largest companies. You have their governing councils. This is really one of the things that sets them apart. But you have big names in here, such as Boeing, Google, Deutsche Telekom, Ubisoft, UCL, LG, Dell. Now, these people all have a say in the direction of Hedera and how the tokens are spent. Also, it's to their benefit that the price of Hedera and the network as a whole does good. And so you put two and two together. They want it to do good, right? They have a vested interest in it. And now this is going to be a product available to Wall Street where all these people that sit on the governing council have some sort of influence. But the big thing here, we know when the Ethereum ETF went live, there was tons of money already in the Grayscale Ethereum Trust, the BlackRock Ethereum Trust, all these trusts that have been going on for years that had built up a stack of Ethereum in it. Once that got converted, we saw a lot of outflows from that. Same thing with Bitcoin. Well, the one thing Hedera doesn't have or makes it different than all of that is the trust has been around for a month and a half. There's not billions of dollars that is sitting in the trust ready to be converted to an ETF and flow out of that spot ETF, causing downward price pressure for the HBAR token. So this, in my opinion, is going to be very bullish. I also think Hedera has a very clear narrative, right? RWA and institutions. So when you have a clear narrative, people know what you're doing. You have an inside track with the companies that I mentioned that are part of the governing council, and you don't have a lot of money sitting in a trust that's getting ready to flow out. I mean, could this potentially send the price of Hedera to 30, 40, 50 cents once it goes live? What will the inflows look like? Now, I do want to give some caution. I don't expect this thing to have Bitcoin level inflows. I actually don't expect it to have Ethereum level inflows. But again, what's going to make a difference here is the outflows. The billions of dollars of outflows we saw from Bitcoin when it first launched, and the millions and billions, eventually, dollars of outflows we saw from Ethereum once it went live. We're not going to have that with HBAR. So at least in the very beginning, the majority of the trading volume is going to be all buy orders. And we know how these ETFs are set up. They're going to go in the buy order. They're going to go in within 12 hours of creating those ETFs, those shares. They're going to go out and they're going to buy the HBAR token, which again will create upward price movement for the price of HBAR. We go back to the chart here. We take a look. Some key levels we're looking out for. Again, the first one here is going to be that 7.98 cents. After that, we did have essentially a triple top here at 9.2 cents. Once we clear that 10-cent level, 12 cents is next, and then really cycle high so far of around 18.4 cents. This was that massive wick we saw when it was announced one of BlackRock's products was being tokenized on the Hedera network. So things are looking up. We've seen massive amounts of volume. If I show you the liquidity flow index, money flow has flipped green as price sentiment has skyrocketed. The important thing to watch here is this going to be a sustained move. Again, what you want to see is a close above this 6.5 cent level. If that happens, whether we consolidate for 2-3 days or Hedera just says screw you and takes off, you're going to start seeing some massive gains from Hedera and the HBAR token. What are your thoughts on a Hedera ETF? Are you bullish? Put a 1 in the comment section if you are. And also come check out our live show Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you in the next one.